In this episode, I tell Santa all I want for Christmas is a good A1C. This is the Happy Diabetic Kitchen, the podcast about people who love to eat and cook healthy. This is your guide to the world of healthy cooking and conversation about happy diabetic living and lifestyles, where we turn ordinary ingredients into something extraordinary. Welcome to the kitchen and let's get cooking. Hello everyone, happy holidays. I am Chef Robert Lewis, the Happy Diabetic, and this is the internet's most delicious cooking podcast. I'm here in the kitchen with Jason, getting ready to explore a healthy diabetic lifestyle. I want to take the mystery out of healthy cooking and explore some amazing foods and share my successes and my challenges. So welcome to the kitchen, and if you're new to the show, I am so happy you're cooking with me in my kitchen today. So if you're ready, let's get cooking. Hey Jason, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy Hanukkah. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
Never had it so good. So you know how it is, Jason. At our house, we go both ways. We celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Hanukkah, and it's just a great celebration for our family.
It is amazing.
Any memories of food Christmas or food Hanukkah that comes to mind?
Oh God, where to start? As far as like Christmas food, I always loved your ham, like pineapple ham. I loved eating those leftovers for weeks afterwards.
Thanks. Yeah, that was really good.
You know, potato latkes, of course.
Love potato latkes. As a matter of fact, we made them a couple weeks ago. And for those that don't know, potato latke is really grated potatoes, fresh potatoes, apples, eggs, a little salt and pepper, fried up lightly in oil. And the oil is very symbolic in a Jewish home because it's all about the oil in the lamps of the menorah. So, you know, it's typical that you would cook in oil. But those were my favorites: sour cream, applesauce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we know that this is a challenging time of the year, eating smart and exercising right. I mean, I know for me, time is crunched and I tend to overlook some exercise and maybe I rush through my meals without much consciousness. So I just thought in this episode we can explore some interesting ways to make sure that all you want for Christmas is a good A1C. So we'll learn more about that and that amazing test. We also have a very interesting recipe of the podcast, my shrimp scampi of love. And then we have a very awesome Because of My Podcast story and much, much more. So, I don't know. Are you ready, Jason?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's get cooking. We'd like to start off this podcast with a great Because of My Diabetes story. Simply finish this statement: because of my diabetes, blank. You know, something positive. Lemonade out of lemons. Maybe you met someone amazing who might have helped you. Tell us your story. Simply head over to my website, happydiabetic.com. On the right-hand side of the page, you'll see a voicemail link. Hit that, go to the record your story, and tell us all about yourself. Today's Because of My Diabetes story comes from Matt Vander Veck from FTF Warriors. He likes to think of it as eat, train, live like a warrior. Matt and his wife Lisa run an amazing diabetic community that is passionate, knowledgeable, and supportive. FTF stands for From the Fight, which is what Matt and Lisa's last name, Vanderveck, means in Dutch. I met Matt at a recent Taking Control of Your Diabetes conference in San Diego. Matt's family tree is also traced back to a tribe of warriors, hence the name Warrior. The name is especially significant because both Matt and Lisa were diagnosed in their late teens with autoimmune diseases, Matt with type 1 diabetes and Lisa with Crohn's disease. While these diseases are lifelong diagnoses, they both have been able to manage their disease successfully and live happy and healthy lives. They are from the fight. So I'm going to invite you to join their tribe. Okay, Matt, hit it.
Hello, happy diabetic podcast listeners. My name is Matt Vandevecht, and because of my diabetes, I learned how truly strong I am. I found a new passion with nutrition. I strengthened my passion with fitness. You see what I did there? I strengthened. I founded a company called FTF Warrior, which is an online health coaching company for type 1 and type 2 diabetics, which I now run full time. Now, I'm a type 1 diabetic, and because of my diabetes, I was able to find all these new passions in life, find a new fire for life, and looking back, truly see how strong I always was, and that I now am because I have been fighting this disease now for almost 9 years. It's been an incredible experience, and I never thought that I would be thankful for something as serious as a chronic lifelong disease. But truly, diabetes has taught me a lot about myself and about others. It's shown me that there's an incredible community out there that I am so thankful to be part of. And ultimately, like I mentioned, I found new passions like nutrition and fitness. I learned a lot more about food and how it affects my body. I learned about exercise and how to better manage my blood sugars with exercise. And now I find joy in coaching other diabetics how to do the same. So if you guys are interested, I'd love to share my knowledge with you. You can find more info about my company at ftfwarrior.com. And keep up the fight.
Thank you, Matt. I'm going to give you a big Happy Diabetic Chef Warrior shout out. Warrior! You rock. So, Jason, all I really want for Christmas, or any time for that matter, is a good A1C. And it's the most common test that if you have type 1 or type 2 diabetes that you typically get. But if you're not familiar, let me take the mystery out of that. Hemoglobin A1C. So the hemoglobin A1C test basically tells you your average level of blood sugar over 2 to 3 months. People who have diabetes need this test regularly to see their levels are staying within the range. Now, my doctor, we typically get an A1C every 3 months like clockwork. And really, the A1C is primarily used, as it was for me, to diagnose my diabetes. So really, the question is, what is hemoglobin? Well, hemoglobin is a protein found in red blood cells. It gives the blood its red color. Its job is to carry oxygen throughout your body. So how does this amazing test work? Well, every day, you may or may not know this if you're not a diabetic, but if you are, you know this, that you're going to test your blood sugars 1 to 2 to 3 times a day. And you get a number based on your meter, and the blood cells store this number or this range for about 2 to 3 months, which is why they can come up with an average set of blood sugars for the next 2 to 3 months. The sugar in your blood is called glucose. When glucose builds up in your blood, it binds to the hemoglobin in your red blood cells. Simply, the A1 test measures how much glucose is bound in those cells. Now, red blood cells live for about 3 months, so the test shows the average of glucose in your blood for the past 3 months. If your glucose levels have been high over recent weeks, your hemoglobin A1C will definitely be higher. So, what is a normal hemoglobin A1C test? Well, I reached out to an expert, my good friend, Dr. Steve Edelman, the founder of Taking Control of Your Diabetes. If you're not familiar with TCOYD, check him out at tcoyd.edu and learn all about Steve and his amazing organization. But Steve told me an A1C of 5.5 is not at risk for diabetes, anyone with that kind of number. Now, But officially, anything from 5.7 to 6.4 is called prediabetes, and 6.5 is considered diabetes. Now, he says a lot of folks in the pre-range will never go to type 2, but many of us have diabetes in our family, so we are prone. So that's why it's time to take a little more proactive and really give it some effort to help manage our diabetes. Now, for people without diabetes, the normal range seems to be about 5.5. So I average around 6.5 right now. I've had higher, 7.9, and I've even had lower. So let's move on. We're going to talk about setting some goals for your A1C levels. I've got 5 strategies to get you through the holidays without tanking your A1C. So strategies for navigating through the temptations of Christmas overeating. That's my strategy number 1. Cookie landmines, that's what I call them. You know, they're those baked goods everywhere at this time of the year. Cookie exchanges, cookies everywhere. What I do is I bring a snacky snack to work to have as an alternative when I'm faced with those massive trays of cookies. Now, if I can, I'm going to try to eat healthier oatmeal cookie recipes, higher in fiber, lower fat, lower sugar. That's going to be my key for navigating the cookie landmines. And also restaurant meals. Look at the menu online before going. I mentally pre-order because if I don't, I'll get to the restaurant and be so tempted by all the smells. I like to look online, pick my entree, and when I get there, I'm just convicted and I know what I'm going to have. I'll also be able to look at the nutritionals online and choose ahead what I might order. This will help you to avoid the temptation in the moment. I love to pair and share. That's where we'll order one entree, share it, get a couple salads. That way I can manage my portion size. And like I said, we'll order extra salad and maybe even share an appetizer. But it's that portion size that I want to really get under control for my entree. Okay, number 2, fit in exercise every day. I love my Fitbit style device. My Christmas gift recommendations are Fitbits or, similar devices like that. There's so many different brands. Garmin, Apple Watch makes one. It doesn't matter what brand you are, but I love it because it's got a step counter on it. It's got a heart rate monitor. And actually, it becomes so motivating. I look at my device every day and I know what my goal is. And actually, I try not to go to bed until I've met my goal. It becomes sort of addictive and a really gentle reminder on my wrist. Plus, on my device, when I reach my 100% goal, it like shakes, rattles, and rolls. Very excited. I can't wait to proclaim to the world that I met my goal. Another thing I like is my fitness nutrition websites, like MyFitnessPal, calorie counting app. That is really great. I also park further from the door, so I have to walk further. And listen, take steps, not the elevator. We'll get into that in just a moment. Number 3, alcohol consumption, calories. Check counts for beer, wine, and cocktails. And remember, overcompensation leads to heavy snacking and overeating. Okay, number 4, stick to a schedule. Skipping meals, letting too much time pass between meals, or eating much or too often can cause your blood sugar levels to fall or rise, spike and decline, way out of control. Your doctor or nutritionist can help you determine the best meal schedule for your lifestyle. Find yourself a great diabetic educator, a great nutritionist, and they will be a big help. Matter of fact, I think you should give that as a Christmas present to yourself. A visit to an amazing dietitian of the world who can learn more about you and your body and what ails you and what you like, and to kind of just help you come up with your lifestyle meal plan. And lastly, number 5, follow your treatment plan. Diabetes treatment is very individualized. Remember, one size does not fit all. Your doc will help you determine the steps you need to take successfully manage diabetes to a super high level. Always talk to your doctor before making any changes. And of course, check your blood sugars as directed. Work with your doctor or diabetic educator to determine if and how often you should check your blood sugars. Now, in full disclosure, I use DiaThrive meter and strips. It's a subscription-based situation where they deliver my strips, my meter, directly to my door as often as I need them and automatically. So it's really great. Diathrive.com. I would definitely check that out. So understanding your A1C levels is an important part of your overall diabetes management. When I was a newly diagnosed diabetic, my wife used to call it the "we'll know if you've been cheating" test, because there's no way to cheat that number. I can cheat the numbers on my daily meter, but after that 3-month period, boom, there's the number. Matter of fact, early on, I told my wife one time, because I knew my numbers were just going to be horrible. I said, "Hey, listen, I know you're wondering where my A1C test is, but I just got notification from my doctor that the lab where they did all the testing burnt to the ground and they lost all of my records." So she looked at me, and the next day she called my doctor and she signed some forms to make sure that she had access to my medical records. So that's where it comes back to, we'll know if you've been cheating. No more cheating anymore. I am a happy diabetic with my blood sugars at about 6.5. Really, really great. I'm feeling better than I've ever felt. And this podcast is all about, and it celebrates how I've done and how it can help you live the best diabetic life ever. There's a better way to manage your diabetes. Let me introduce you to my friends at DiaThrive, diathrive.com. With DiaThrive, your testing supplies are shipped directly to your home when you need them. Gone are the days of visiting multiple stores to find the right strips, waiting in long lines to buy supplies, or sorting through your insurance requirements. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, DiaThrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. DiaThrive saves you time and money. Plus, they're pretty fun to work with. So why don't you give diathrive.com a chance to show you there's a better way to manage your diabetes. Matter of fact, I'm so convinced you'll love it, they're so convinced you'll love their service, that they're offering you $10 off your first testing supplies order. Simply use the coupon code HAPPYDIABETIC at checkout. Remember, diathrive.com, and you get $10 off your first order. Happy testing. So it's time for the recipe of the podcast: shrimp, scampi, and tomatoes of love. Let's get started. Here's the ingredients: 1 pound of Roma tomatoes, it's about 2 or 3 tomatoes, 2 ounces I Love Maytag blue cheese or feta cheese, 4 to 5 sprigs of fresh basil, 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a dash of cracked pepper, 1 pound of large shrimp, raw or cooked. If you want to cook it, great. If you want to buy it already cooked, that's awesome also. 1 tablespoon of olive oil if you're going to cook it, 1 clove of garlic minced, a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and 1 fresh lime. Okay, let's put it all together. So we're going to wash and slice the tomatoes crosswise onto a 1/2 inch thick slice, 4 to 5 slices per tomato. Arrange 2 to 3 slices on each salad plate. Sprinkle with the blue cheese or feta cheese. Cut fresh basil leaves into strips and top each of the tomatoes with the basil. Drizzle a little extra virgin olive oil over the tops and add a dash of fresh cracked pepper. Now, if you're using raw shrimp, it's super easy. Combine the juice of lime, a little oil, a little garlic, a little pepper in a large bowl. Add the shrimp and toss it lightly. You can either heat the grill or heat a saute pan. Place the shrimp on the grill or in a hot saute pan for approximately 2 to 4 minutes, turning the shrimp. When the shrimp gets kind of orangey, it is ready. Place the shrimp on top of the tomato, basil, and Maytag blue cheese and enjoy. Super easy. Go to my website, happydiabetic.com. You'll find the recipe under my favorite recipes. You'll also find the video online also. The calories for this dish are only 57. Fat is about 5 grams, carbohydrates about 2 grams, sugar, fiber, protein, super, super low. That's it. My shrimp scampi of love. Check it out. I think you'll really like it. You are listening to the Happy Diabetic Kitchen Podcast. I am your host, Chef Robert Lewis, the Happy Diabetic. So be sure to follow me on all my social links. Didn't know I was so social. You'll find them all at happydiabetic.com. Just look for all my links at the top right-hand side of the page. And if you have a question for me, go to my website. Hit the Contact tab. You ask questions, I'll answer them. And they might even become a part of the show. If I select your question, I will send you a free Happy Diabetic cookbook of love. And if you're loving what you hear in the kitchen, please leave a comment or feedback at Stitcher, Google Play, or iTunes, or wherever you're listening. Your thoughts and comments are greatly appreciated. Thank you for listening. Our podcast is produced and engineered by Jason Lewis. Our theme music by the Happy Diabetic Kitchen Band. And of course, yours truly on the electric guitar, Chef Robert. And of course, our kitchen mascots, Scout and Tucker, wondering what's in their Christmas stocking. Well, thanks for tuning in, and let me leave you with this thought. One of my favorite comedians who passed away many years ago, Buddy Hackett, once said, "As a child, my family's menu consisted of 2 choices, take it or leave it." So long for now, and remember, no one loves you more than me.